I'm going to introduce Lauren Orlando. Lauren and there she is, and maybe we can make sure we'll put her on a speaker view once she begins and once I'm done talking, because it's fun to watch. Lauren's done demonstrations for our ethical enrichment program, which is called Ethical Eating for Healthy and Humane People and Planet. And she's done this for more than 2 years. Generally, we do these on the first Sunday of the month, and we do them at 1:30 after the platform ends. And she has just been so wonderful. Of course, her expertise is in health and fitness and nutrition. And she does also have a day job where she's involved in helping to organize programs for childhood education. But this, I think, is really her passion, and we've been so fortunate to have her bring this passionate to our society, and hope that she continues to do so. We really like having this as a Sunday platform once a year. We do it in the summertime. Generally, we're meeting on the first Sunday of every month. And when we do it in person, there are fantastic taste treats, which unfortunately, in a Zoom environment, we can't do. So you're just going to have to use your imaginations here. But I will tell you, what she's going to give you will be a feast for your eyes. And it will also be really, I think you'll find it very tantalizing for your brain as well, because she gets into a lot of how the different foods work together. And the title of the program is Ethical Eating for Healthy and Humane People and Planet. And she tends to focus on the healthy people, and that aspect of the things because of her experience with fitness and nutrition, and to show how the vegan, or I should say plant-based eating, can really make you feel better, and how you can really enjoy the food. And I'm just going to take a moment to say that, there are other parts of this that we don't often cover. For example, and that is the humane part of this, right? I know many people who are vegan by choice. They like the health benefits, but they also feel that there's an important ethical aspect of how we relate to other life on the planet. And as well as the fact that meat-based economy can be very destructive in its own way, and can in many ways contribute to climate change and global warming. A lot of cows make a lot of methane gas, let's face it. And so, we don't really focus on that, but I do think I think it's important that we be aware of that as people who are seeking to live ethical lives and to make a better world. Now, I will tell you, I am not vegetarian. I am not vegan. As you could tell, I'm pretty much, if you could see the whole rest of me, you'd see I'm pretty much an omnivore. But through Lauren's help, I have really learned how I can begin to incorporate plant-based foods in my diet. I'm not ready to give up meat. I'm not ready to give up all of the other things that I enjoy. But what I have found is that I don't have to give them up in order to be more plant-based. And with the recipes and the knowledge that Lauren has been able to share with me and with the others who've attended this program, I have found it very satisfying to begin to shift my eating into a more plant-based format. You're not really, I have found I am not giving up anything. I am really adding wonderful things to my life. And so I'm really very grateful to Lauren. And I will also say she's helped us to navigate a challenging conversation as a community in ways that, again, don't make anyone feel bad because they still have a burger from time to time or all the time, but helped us move to where when we have a potluck, and we will have potlucks again, we put the cheese on the side and not right in the salad. Or if we're going to have chicken, we put that on the side and not right in with the pasta, so that people can make those decisions. These are ways that we can become a much more inclusive community, because there is a large community of people out there who I have found often felt unable to join us in this important part of our community life. That is to say, the communal eating when we come together for a meal. And had not been able to feel really connected or participate in that fully. So I want to thank you, Lauren, for what you've done for our society. And I will now thank you in advance for what you're going to present to us. And this, by the way, I'm going to say is always, this is my favorite platform of my favorite session that Lauren does of the whole year, because it is ethical, it is plant-based desserts. And these are so good. You're going to love making these yourself. And so I only wish we could be there in person to enjoy them. But without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to you, Lauren, and I'm going to go off to my court of honor. Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you, Eric, and congratulations. I hope you have fun today. Yeah, excellent. Wow, we have 19 other, or now 18 other participants. This is the largest group that we've had in a long time. Thank you for your support. It's really nice to see that we're still signing on to Zoom and appreciating virtual events, even though it's nice to get together in person. So as Eric mentioned, my name is Lauren Orlando. I've been doing this program for over 2 years now, and it's fun to show plant-based recipes. I'm an educator by trade, and I love working with the community. And so, yes, I just got a couple messages. Yeah, so we can, I can work with you personally. You can email me, and we can work that out as well. I do coach one-on-one, and my prices are very, very, very fair. I don't really get much. I'm not looking to make a lot of money with this. I'm looking to encourage people. It's more rewarding for me to encourage people to go on the plant-based lifestyle. I'm married. My husband and I, we're both vegan. And we had a vegan wedding, and we have a vegan house. It's vegetarian, actually, because I do allow my parents to bring cheese pizzas, things like that. But in this world, it's fun to be able to navigate and make healthy choices, and without broadcasting them or without making us feel that we're too different, and being empowered and having that source of conviction to follow a healthy diet. So that's what I'm all about. And I just wanted to formally announce, I did mention a few months ago that I was going to be having an ebook, and that is in the works. So you will be able to get these recipes. I am co-writing this book with Karen Ramsey. I don't know if you know of Karen, but she's also a published author. Her most famous book is Creating Healthy Children. She's a speech pathologist by trade, and has excellent raw vegan recipes and lifestyle suggestions in her literature. And so our book is going to be called Ready, Set, Raw. They're going to be fun, fast, all raw vegan recipes. And that's what I have for you today. I'm really focusing on what's fast, what's fun, and delicious for all of you. So we are going to do desserts, and all one device. I have my Vitamix here. It's going to just be in a Vitamix today. No food processor, no food dehydrator, just things that are going to be delicious and satisfying, and of course nutritious as well. So without further ado, I'm going to start with my most simple recipe. This is actually a recipe that I've adapted from other recipes, and it is just a banana blueberry pie, and it is completely no bake. And it's delicious and even patriotic for some events like the 4th of July, Labor Day, etc. So it is a good staple, and it's also completely fat-free, which is nice, especially in the summertime. So I have you on my cell phone today, so I could show you what's going on my cutting board here. What I have here are 4 bananas, and I've already begun to slice them, and I slice them actually quite thin, because this is going to actually be our crust to put in our pie pan. I believe in actually following a high carb, low fat type of diet. It doesn't have to be raw vegan. And again, it doesn't really, for those of you who are still in transition, kudos to you, or you're thinking about it. Great. You're dipping your toe in the water. Excellent. I always recommend you have one salad and first in the beginning of the day, have your smoothie and one large green salad every single day, whether you're vegan or not, and incorporate a lot of vegetables with your dinner as well. High carbohydrate, low fat. This is for many reasons. I know that keto diets, low carb diets like Atkins diet or even South Beach, they promote, of course, having high fat and lower carbohydrates. But based on my research, I know that nutrients typically absorb in the body quicker with less fat. The fat kind of makes your blood kind of tired and kind of slow, and it's not able to really transport the nutrients as well. So we want to keep our fat intake lower. Okay, so this is a completely low fat pie. So what I'm going to do now is continue to chop my banana here. And I do have a bird. His name is Milo, and he doesn't necessarily like the chopping sound. It's not that he doesn't like it, but he always thinks that he's going to be getting something. Like I'm going to be chopping an apple and then it's going to be appearing in his little food bowl in his cage. So I'm going to try to chop very quietly here, but I can't make any guarantees. So this is 4 organic bananas. I used to say that you don't need the bananas to be organic, but there he goes. In this case, I do believe that they do. Some bananas do have, if they're not organic, they typically have GMOs, even though they have the peel, even though they grow on a tree. So I do recommend organic bananas. What I found is that with the organic bananas, just like avocados, they are perfectly ripe one day and the next day they turn to mush. So watch them carefully. These bananas have just a few little specks. So they're not entirely dark brown, but they have enough little brown specks on them to make them just perfectly ripe. Don't let them be overripe, okay? So here they are. I sliced my 4 bananas. Woo! I just dropped some on my computer there, but maybe you have smell-o-vision. You can smell them now. And I have a beautiful glass pie dish. Makes it look very, very fancy. And the first thing I'm going to do is line my pie dish with these little banana slices. Now Milo's in a good mood, so I guess he thinks he's getting some of this pie. So I'm going to just line this pie dish here. And I'd like to, I really like to kind of go around the sides as well as the bottom. And you might find, depending on the depth or circumference, if you will, of your pie plate, you might decide that you want to add more bananas, and that's fine too. You could have a thicker crust of bananas or a thinner crust of bananas as well. The inner part of the pie is actually blueberry and dates. And the reason why we choose blueberry and apple as well, same idea. Blueberry contains a lot of pectin, so it almost acts like a jelly. It binds to the dates and then becomes the filling of this beautiful, delicious blueberry pie. So you can see I'm kind of just going around the sides like this. And then I'm going to put the bananas on the bottom. Does anybody have a famous dessert recipe that they typically use either in the summertime or things that they bring to relatives' houses, anything like that? Somebody came off of mute. Sorry, I can't touch the screen right now because I have banana hands. But anybody want to share famous desserts, things they'd like to make to bring to friends or family? Go ahead, share.
I can't say this is exclusive to summer, but here, let me get back to being a person.
There you are.
Aha, there we go. Thank God chocolate is a vegan ingredient.
Yeah.
Fair trade chocolate, I hope, because the other kind is kind of horrible when you find out how it's brought into our sphere. But anyway, there's a tofu chocolate mousse or flan kind of, not flan means eggs, but like a pudding that you can make with tofu and chocolate and a little cinnamon. That's, I guess, like mousse. Comes across like mousse.
That sounds.
It's quite successful if you get really great chocolate. I'd like to figure out how to get the beanie, overtone that tofu brings when you chug it up raw. Diminish that a little bit, but otherwise it's a great vegan dessert. Very, very luxurious.
Do you use silken tofu? What type of tofu do you use for that?
Yeah, probably. Maybe, I can't remember.
Okay.
Whatever's like around, and probably it should have been fresher, or I don't know. I'm not used to working with tofu, so it's always an adventure.
Yes, I would. Do you rinse it very well when you use it? Like, how many times are you rinsing it before you?
Oh my God, what a concept. Probably I didn't rinse it.
Okay,
enough,
rinse it. Yeah,
if at all.
rinse it. Maybe soak it in water and then rinse it and maybe drain it a little bit, right? If you can, with like a colander, put something heavy on top of the colander, drain, then keep rinsing it. Maybe a few rinses will get that taste out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can do that with silken tofu. I mean, that's practically like pudding already. I mean,
Yeah, be gentle. Start with maybe just like a little plate or like a little bowl like this, very, very small. Not much pressure and not for too long, but just to squeeze out the whatever water was absorbed.
Right.
And just keep rinsing. Yeah, or soak it overnight.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that was from the New York Times, so anyone could find it, the recipe quite handily if you want to try it.
Times. Oh, that's good. All right. I'm gonna look into that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay. So what I've done is I have chopped up the bananas and slice them up in my dish. And what I've done also is, you see how I kind of layered them? I layered them purposely so that there weren't many gaps, because I want that blueberry pie filling to kind of sit right on top of the bananas and have it lighter. And that's why I have this glass dish, right? So that you can see the different layers of the pie when it's completed. So here it is. Beautiful. Okay. So now we're going to make the filling, and I'm going to make it in my food processor. I'm not going to make it in my food processor. I'm going to make it in my Vitamix. I typically make it in my food processor, but again, with that premise of ready, set, raw, and keeping your kitchen appliances to a minimum, special things you need, you just need a high-speed blender. When you switch from a food processor lifestyle to a blender lifestyle, I found that you need a little bit more liquid to get things going. And I am using frozen blueberries. So for this recipe, what I'm going to do is, again, those 4 bananas chopped in your pie plate. And I'm going to just get a 1/4 cup of water. And I'm going to keep it to the side here. And I'm going to add this gradually to the frozen blueberries and dates mixture to make sure that it processes together. So let me get my blueberries. Okay. Now these actually just came from the grocery store, and I left them out on my countertop. So defrost any frozen blueberries for about a ½ hour to 40 minutes. And this is just 10-ounce bag of organic frozen blueberries. You could use fresh. You don't need to use frozen. But for me, I'm impatient, and I feel like the frozen tends to bind to the dates very quick, and I don't need to refrigerate the pie for it to harden as much as if I use fresh. So I'm going to just open this and put this in my Vitamix. You don't need a Vitamix. You don't really. I mean, a Vitamix is great. A Ninja also fine. If you have just a regular type of KitchenAid blender, that's great. With other blenders that aren't quite as high speed with these types of blenders, I would recommend maybe halving this, like putting in just half of the bag and half of the amount of dates first, and blend that and put that in the dish, and then the second half, because sometimes the mixture doesn't incorporate well with those other types of blenders. Okay, but you don't need to buy anything fancy for this, I promise. So I'm going to put all 10 ounces here in my Vitamix. Move my Vitamix over so you can see it a little bit here. Yeah, okay. So, I don't know, they make these bags so that they're resealable, but I never reseal this bag. Like I usually eat everything in it. I don't need to seal it. So here we go. Carefully put your frozen blueberries in your Vitamix or blender. And now I have pitted dates. These are organic pitted medjool dates. I prefer medjool dates because they're sweeter and they have more volume. You could use other dates as well, but these are very sweet. So, right, so I have my 10 ounces here, and then I'm gonna put 6 to 8 dates. Carol, do you wanna say something, or is that from before?
Hi, Lauren, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Sorry I missed your Ramsey presentation yesterday. I really wanted to be there.
Okay.
But for the banana and ice cream. But I wanted to just suggest chia pudding as another chia pudding as another option of a raw vegan dessert.
Yeah.
That, that's all I wanted to say
Okay,
when
yeah.
you when
Chia
you were
pudding
asking.
Great. Yeah, and
What's-
it's so simple because all you have to do is take a couple of tablespoons of chia seeds, put it in a plant-based milk or even water. You don't even need
Yep.
to use milk, and let that stir it and let it sit overnight. And you could get so creative with chia pudding.
Yep. Yep.
You could layer it. You could put berries on top or sliced coconut. Oh, I love it.
It tastes wonderful.
It really does. It's a full meal.
Yep.
Chia seeds are very high in omega-3, which actually decreases inflammation. So not only are they high protein, but they also have just the right amount of fat in them to actually eliminate inflammation and make you feel really good. So I love chia seeds myself.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so 10 ounces of the blueberries. I put Milo's going crazy. I put 6 dates in here as well. And I have my quarter cup of water. I'm just going to put half of my quarter cup in here for now. So 1/8 of a cup, just like this. I don't want it to be too runny. We want it to be like a pudding consistency. So I'm gonna just start with that and see how it goes. Now I'm gonna mute my phone because it's gonna be very loud. Here we go. Okay, so I went through once and then the mixture didn't really incorporate so well. So what I'm gonna do is add the rest of my water, rest of the quarter cup. And I'm going to just use a spatula to scrape down the sides, just a little bit here. Okay. You have to be very patient with this, especially if you're using frozen. Just, work with it a little bit. It will combine as long as you defrost the berries. Okay, so here we go. Have it on the lowest setting. Almost there. So let me just do this one more time. And you just work with it. Because again, it's very thick. The mixture is very thick. And you might find that the dates are sticking a little bit to the blade. Make sure you carefully work them out from under the blade. And you mix it around and just give it some love. It'll get there. That's all the water though that I want to add because I don't want it to be too runny. Like I said, I want it to sit nicely on top of the sliced bananas. So here we go. All right, and one more time to do it. I really look forward to eating this, and I tend to actually make this on a weekend for the week so that I don't feel guilty for eating dessert during the week. I typically will eat something a little not healthy on the weekends, but during the week, if I need something sweet, this is something that I tend to make and enjoy without the guilt. Right, I think that just about does it. Yeah, awesome. And you can see it almost looks like, here, I'll show you on the camera here. It almost looks like a blueberry type of a jelly, right? That's exactly what we want to fit on top of those bananas. So that's really it. I wish it was more complicated. It looks complicated, trust me. just gonna get the rest of these, this blueberry mixture out from the lid here. Throw my lid in the sink for the moment. It's not that complicated. It looks complicated. It looks fancy, but it's not complicated at all. So I'm gonna get my banana dish here and move this over so you can see. Spoon this right on top. So when we spoon it on top, of course, you want to mix it evenly. So I just kind of put it a big dollop in the middle, and then I just use my spoon or a butter knife to spread it. I know this is a vegan class. I'm talking about butter. Vegan butter knife. And spread it across the top of your pie crust here. That's funny. I make myself laugh. It's interesting too. I do own knives, like steak knives, but I don't really use them for anything. I just feel like I need them after all this time. So I don't know. Things that we have, things that we grow up with, we're just familiar with. So just gonna keep spreading this on top. I'll take my Vitamix off now and just kind of go like this and get it out from the container, pour it on top here. Oh man, this looks absolutely delicious. Not complicated at all. If you pop it right in the refrigerator after this, believe it or not, the bananas, they don't turn brown because they're sliced. So it does make for a nice presentation. You can make the night before you have an event or anything like that. You can do that as well. Don't stress. I have one date that didn't quite make it. That's okay. Don't stress about it. Just put it to the side. Sometimes it happens. You have plenty of mixture here. Julia Childs, oh my gosh, her cooking and the way that she approaches mistakes in the kitchen, hilarious. So I wish I could be as funny as her, but don't worry. I always say, just like Emerald Lagasse says, this is definitely not rocket science, okay? Especially raw food. Anything could be a happy accident. So no worries there. And I'm just getting everything out of here. Everything from the sides and under the blade here. And I'm gonna just kind of put it around very nicely. And you could also, if you have flaked coconut, or even if you don't want to be entirely raw and you want to put on some chocolate chips on top, you could do that also. I like to use a dash of cinnamon personally, because again, I want to keep this low fat, so I don't want to put coconut on top, but it does make for a nice presentation. And of course, in the summertime, you could also pop some strawberries around as well. I'll make it red, white, and blue. Look how beautiful. And where's my cinnamon? I love cinnamon because it makes sweet foods actually taste even sweeter. It kind of tricks your taste buds into thinking you're eating something so naughty, but it's really not. And just do a little sprinkling like that. And there, look how quick and simple this is. So super delicious. Give me a thumbs up if you think you might make this at home. Anybody? Yeah? Okay, good. So really, really fun, really so simple. If we do have this potluck, I hope that somebody would consider bringing this because it's so fun. So I'm gonna pop it in my fridge. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna give this a quick rinse here. And
Well, Lauren,
Yeah.
I think we wouldn't mind if you took 2 seconds out to give Milo something.
Give him something? Oh, because he's being a little annoying? Okay, let me.
No, I just feel sorry for him.
Okay, I'll give him a piece of apple. You feel sorry for him. I tune him out, you know? I tune him out. He should understand that mommy's busy in the kitchen. All right, let me give him a piece of apple here. Hold on. Oh my goodness. They feel bad for you, Milo. Isn't that funny? Okay, here we go. This is what he likes, apple. And only organic. You can hear that he's freaking out, right? Okay, give me 1 second. Here you go, Milo. Go inside. Go inside your cage. Go inside. Here. Okay. Go inside. Good boy. Okay. Let's see. All right. Maybe he'll be quiet now. We have time at the end. I'll show you what he looks like. He's a beautiful dusty conure.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I've never heard that before. Nobody's ever asked me to feed my bird. Oh my goodness. All right, so I'm gonna just rinse out my Vitamix now, and I'm going to show you a chocolate smoothie bowl. So simple, again, kind of in the premise of having a mousse or a chia pudding, super simple, without using any of those acai or any of those pre-mixed packages. So just to show you quickly, I do buy acai. You can get this in the this is the Sambazon brand. You can get this in the store, but just be careful, because if you don't look for the zero sugar kind, it will have sugar in it. And I like to have natural sugar. I like to have sugar from fruits only. So I don't use any of the regular brand, just the regular acai. You have to look for the zero sugar. But we're not using this today, but I thought I would just throw that out there. Okay. All right. So so I make a chocolate smoothie bowl, honestly, when I've had a long day, or I can't decide, do I want something sweet for breakfast, or do I want something after dinner? So this is something that I make, again, super simple as well. So let me put this to the side here so I won't be chopping. And okay, so coconut water. I use Harmless Harvest brand because it's actually pretty virgin coconut water here. They don't really heat it in any way. You can tell on screen it's actually a little bit like pink. So I use this for my water to make it taste, it's like a trick to make it taste even sweeter than it is without using the sugar. So in my Vitamix here, in this in the top portion here, I'm going to put in a little bit of coconut water. I'm going to put in just maybe a half a cup just to start, and then I'll add more as we need. So half a cup of coconut water. And I'll put in some of my frozen berries. So I have this organic triple berry blend. I really like to have a blend that's deep in color, dark in color, so it tastes like I'm having like a chocolate berry smoothie bowl and it looks chocolatey. So in here, I'm going to be putting 1 cup of these. Okay. And yes, I know that it's really a small amount of liquid for a lot of frozen fruit, but again, same premise here. I want it to be thick. Okay, so it's like I'm eating something. It has to be thick enough to eat with a spoon. Bottom line, that's what makes it a smoothie bowl without using any of those prepackaged acai concoctions there. So next I'm going to add in some dates. For this mixture, I only use 1 date, especially if they're this kind, the Medjool kind. And I'm gonna chop it because of the amount of frozen food to frozen to liquid consistency here. I guess he wasn't very satisfied with that apple. He's still a little upset. Okay. Couple of sprinkles of cinnamon, just a couple of shakes here go in as well. Okay. And cacao. So for cacao, I like to put in 2 tablespoons. So 2 tablespoons of raw cacao. It's cold pressed from Terrasol Superfoods. Believe it or not, cacao is extremely high in magnesium. And I'll show you the nutrition fact here. I don't know if you can see that. Very high in magnesium and also in iron. So when people say, oh, the health benefits of dark chocolate, they're not kidding. But for me, instead of having a bar of chocolate that might have things like soy lecithin, not that that's a bad thing, like lecithin or any of those other binders, not a terrible thing. But this is really just the purest form, and it's raw as well. So I like to use this, especially for the health benefits. But it also gives you a nice bit of energy. So if we have time, I think we have time. At the end, I'll show you one thing that I do as an energy hack using cacao. So just 2 tablespoons of cacao going in here. I know it seems like it's a little bit, but it does pack a punch. And that's it. That's the recipe for the smoothie bowl, chocolate smoothie bowl, high in magnesium and iron as well. That's it. So if your doctor says that you need more iron in your diet, all you have to do is eat more chocolate. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe, but maybe not, right? Things high in iron, again, green leafy vegetables, your deep greens like your kale, your collards, even spinach, very high in iron, like Popeye always says, you know, big and strong. But remember, some people ask me about things like oxalates. So oxalates are acids. They're very, very acidic in the body, and people worry about these particular chemicals actually leaching calcium. That's why people get like kidney stones, things like that, because the body's acidic that is trying to take the calcium out of your bones to neutralize the acid. If you've ever looked at the back of Tums, for example, very high in calcium, so you can neutralize the acid reflux, heartburn, any ailments like that. So I'm mentioning this because some people worry about the oxalates in those deep green vegetables. They just naturally occurring. So some people say, don't worry about it, you're fine. Other people have horror stories about kidney stones. So what I'll tell you is this: a happy medium would be have these greens, but rotate your greens. So have collard greens, or have your kale, or have your spinach one day, then the next day switch to romaine. I cheat and I just get one big tub of greens. I get a tub of spinach and I get a tub of spring mix. And then every other day I'll just have like a different type of salad. Keeps it exciting, keeps it interesting. As a vegan person myself, I have to have a nice variety of salads. So do that, rotate your greens. And you don't have to worry then about that, the oxalate theory or phenomena. You know, I've never had a purely vegan person tell me that he or she had gotten kidney stones from eating kale. But again, as a happy medium, do that, rotate your greens. And also for the nutrient benefits, some greens have more nutrients than others. The dark leafy ones are of course higher in oxalates, but leafy greens in general, very high in folic acid. So also very good for you as well. All right, so I'm gonna just blend this together now on low, so the lowest setting, just so it combines, okay? Oh man, that's coming together beautifully. And I like to blend it until it's pretty smooth. So it looks like ice cream. Trick my brain into thinking I'm eating something really naughty here. Okay, so it stopped rotating, which is good. That means we have the right consistency. So I'm just gonna take my tamper here. Actually, yeah, let's take my tamper here and just push the pieces of blueberry closer to the sides and the bottom, so I can make sure that I don't have anything, I don't want to crunch on anything. I do love berries for the antioxidant benefits, but to this day, I hate crunching on a blackberry or a raspberry seed. I don't know why, I can't stand it. So I want to make sure it's well combined. You wouldn't think so, but some vegans are biased against, you try everything, right? But you can't expect to love everything, and that's okay too. You're still allowed to have your unique taste without having to love every fruit and vegetable. You don't need to love every fruit and vegetable out there, but make sure you get your nutrients. So, all right, that should just about do it. Again, have your patience with it. All right, so that's it. You should be able to kind of tip your pitcher like this and not have the mixture fall out, because that's makes it that nice ice creamy consistency. Beautiful. So I'm going to move this to the side. I do have one more recipe to share with you, so bear with me if you're able to stay. It's noon now, so if you're able to stay, that would be great. If not, that's all right. I will put it in the book, the recipe book, Ready, Set, Raw. So here we go. I'm going to put this in my bowl here. Look at that. I mean, that's just gorgeous, right? It's amazing. So it's going in my bowl with any type of vegan dish, any raw or not raw, doesn't need to be raw. I always like to use beautiful bowls and dishes. So this is actually a very fun, modern, kind of like geometric bowl here. I like it to look fancy. You always eat with your eyes first. So again, any fancy bowl or serving dish, or even if you have a really fun shallow glass dish that you typically use for ice cream sundaes, put it in there. If you're feeling crazy, put it in a margarita glass. I've done it in wine glasses before, and that's fun too, just to give it a little nice appearance there. You could make this several times and make a batch of it and put it all in cute little wine glasses, refrigerate it overnight, and then serve it on a dessert table. How beautiful would that look? You don't even need anything. Make your smoothie bowls, make a beautiful fruit salad, and that's it. You're rocking. It's a very, you eat with your eyes, right? So the color is just so beautiful. Okay, so I put my beautiful smoothie, look at this, gorgeous, right? In my smoothie bowl, the smoothie in the smoothie bowl. So now it's a smoothie bowl. And some things I like to do here. Now, we went from being low fat to full fat. I mean, you can't get fattier than cashew, but I love this brand, Artisana Organics. I really, really, really love their raw nut butter. So now we went from being completely very low fat to very full fat. Cashews are delicious. Remember, though, that they're steamed to release them from the pods that they grow on trees. It's very fascinating if you get a chance to Google that or find that on YouTube. But in any case, they're not really raw. They're kind of steamed to get them out of the pods on the trees, number one. And number two, although they are delicious, they're very high in fat and omega-6 fatty acids, which is the opposite of omega-3. They can cause inflammation. So some people who even have transitioned to a vegan diet or a raw diet, they like thrive on these cheesecakes made out of cashew or cashew dressing. Go easy on the cashew, because if you want to get the health benefits or you want to lose weight, this will prevent that from happening. But this is dessert, so let's put that out of our minds and just enjoy. So I'm just gonna mix this around a little bit and drizzle it. Doesn't really drizzle that well, but we'll put a little dollop here on top. Yeah, that looks awesome. And just because I have them out already, I also have Cacao Nibs. It's beautiful. I could usually get my husband to eat anything as long as it has peanut butter on top. But I have cashews. This one's mine. Oh my goodness. And I have some Cacao Nibs. I like this brand, these organic Cacao Nibs, Noctiera. If you ever had a chance to see how cacao grows in these really long pods off of the trees, it's fantastic. I did have the opportunity to go to Costa Rica once, and I saw cacao growing, and I was in shock at how beautiful and how huge those pods are. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that on top, and there you go. I used to really like, there's a place on River Road in New Milford called the Raw Squeeze. And after a while, I realized that a lot of my paycheck was going into buying smoothie bowls at Raw Squeeze. So I always said, oh, this is my Raw Squeeze at home. Here it is. Beautiful. Okay, so I definitely encourage you to try this. And you can be creative. I used berries today, but if you want to go, you can do frozen peaches. You could just do frozen banana instead. Plenty of different options. But I do like to use frozen because it keeps it like a nice pudding type of a consistency. So, all right, there it is. Smoothie bowl, very impressive, very delicious and satisfying. Gonna put this in my fridge for actually dessert later. Okay, and gonna give my Vitamix a rinse. And so the last thing I'm going to be making is actually a drink. Very cool. Not alcoholic, no alcohol. But one of the things that really got to me as a vegan, as a professional vegan, I try not to have so much coffee. For just a lot of reasons. I love coffee. It's high in antioxidants, but also has the caffeine. And then I become addicted to the caffeine right away. So if I have, for me personally, if I have a cup of coffee or two during the day, the next day I'll feel almost like hungover. Like I can't get my natural energy back. It's right away. Like the caffeine receptors are like, whoa, oh my God, we're having coffee now. So I try to stay away from coffee. So one of the things that I do to kind of fit in and kind of go along with what's trendy is I actually bought these Starbucks cups. How cool are these cups, right? They're on clearance now at Starbucks. And so the drink I'm going to be making today, I'm actually going to put this in my stylish, trendy Starbucks cup here, but it's not coffee at all. And when I put it in this fancy Starbucks cup, I feel like I am so on trend and so cool, but there's no coffee in it. And I'm telling you this because when you go to the office, everybody comes in with like a Dunkin', right? Or a Starbucks. So when I come in with this, hey, I'm fitting in, right? I'm cool. So I just wanted to share that with you. That's going to also, that story is going to also be in the ebook as well, about how to kind of go along with the trends, but not really. And nobody will ever question you. They'll just think you're drinking coffee, or iced coffee rather, out of your stylish cup. So back to the harmless coconut water. I'm going to be making a raw, kind of raw cacao drink in place of coffee. And this was adapted by a recipe by Fully Raw Christina, but I don't use all of her ingredients, and I kind of made it a little bit more naughty. That's just my style. So I'm going to put in 2 cups of harmless harvest coconut water. This bottle is actually only 12 ounces, so I need a little bit more than this. And this is going to go just right here. With this, you don't have to worry so much about your liquid ratio. Just realize that the amount of liquid you put in is how much faux coffee you're going to get. And for me, if I'm making a mess, this is very Italian, right? If I'm making a mess in the kitchen, I'm going to make a lot of something. If I can have it, my husband has it, we have leftovers, even better. Just one last headache for the next day. So 2 cups, 16 ounces of this coconut water. Love, love, love this coconut water. I did actually see at Whole Foods that they have now a brand, their 365 brand is pink coconut water. So I don't know if that's completely unprocessed like this coconut water, but that might be another option. And it's like a $1 cheaper, just throwing that out there. You don't need harmless harvest. Okay, so now we have our cacao powder. Cacao powder goes in here. You could use a combination of cacao and carob if you want to. I have also done a combination of organic cacao powder and chocolate protein powder. Wow. And then it's like a coffee protein smoothie. But sometimes it's a little gritty. So I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons again of this cacao powder. Again, 16 ounces of coconut water, 2 tablespoons of cacao powder. Goes right into the blender here. Okay. Now I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of these cacao nibs. And you can leave it at that. You don't need to do anything else. You could just blend this and it'll be delicious, I promise. But for me, I made it a little bit more naughty. So you'll see that in a minute. You can't always be on our best behavior. You gotta adapt. You gotta change things to make them fit your lifestyle, right? So 2 tablespoons of organic cacao nibs. That's going to make it a very deep, almost bitter chocolate taste. So now we have to add in some sweet things. So next I'm going to add in dates. Of course dates, right? In every recipe, dates, but I don't use sugar. And agave also, I don't use agave. I only sweeten with dates. You could get date syrup or make it yourself. It's just, honestly, date nectar or date syrup is just dates blended in water. So if you have the patience and the will to do that, you can do that. You could also buy it. They even sell it at Home Goods these days, but you can buy it online or go to a natural grocery store. So I'm putting in 6 dates, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember, these are mid-jewel organic dates, pitted. And be careful because sometimes they're not pitted. So actually, press on them gently to make sure there's no pit in there. Sometimes the machine misses it. Okay. All right, now here's the naughty part. I'm actually putting in cashew again. Cashew, not low fat, but I personally feel like if you're not going to have the coffee, and you're not going to have, Milo's laughing. If you're not going to have coffee, you might as well have a little bit of fat to make it taste like a latte. So that's what I'm going for, the flavor profile of a latte. I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons. I'm just going to stick my spoon in here, 2 tablespoons. It should be, you want to make sure it's less than 1/4 cup. Okay, so this is your 1/4 cup. You want like half of 1/4 cup or 2 tablespoons. And the reason why I say that is technically a serving of cashews is ½ an ounce. So that's like half of 1/4 cup. And that keeps it not high fat, but there's still some fat in there. If you're having this in the morning, you don't want to feel sluggish for the rest of the day. All right, now here's another fun ingredient. This is ashwagandha powder. Okay, I like ashwagandha. It's very calming, and the reason why I put it in a drink like this is because I want to feel energized, but also focus and calm at work. So this is not something you need, but it's fun to put in here. Ashwagandha powder I buy from High Vibe in the city. You can order it online as well, and this is very, 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 very minimal. Like I'm talking like here's my teaspoon here, and I'm putting in like just dipping the bottom of the teaspoon in the ashwagandha. Okay, so it's really like a quarter, not even. It's like an eighth of a teaspoon, and that's going in here as well. I don't want to fall asleep. I want to be relaxed. So ashwagandha powder and some cinnamon. You don't need to add the ashwagandha, but it is nice for concentration and to be calm and focused at work. Now the cinnamon, you want to put in really like a half teaspoon. You want to put in a nice amount of cinnamon because it makes it taste almost like a mocha latte that you would get at Starbucks. I promise you, I like mocha lattes, so you know I've really worked on this recipe to make it taste that way. Okay, so now I'm gonna take out my Vitamix, and the Vitamix has the newer brands of the Vitamix. They actually have an option for soup, and if I can get my phone here and show you, the new ones have a soup function. It's right here. And yeah, right there. And so if you press the soup function, it'll actually heat up quickly. But for this, I don't want it to be too warm. I'm just gonna process it. I'm just gonna blend it on high, just so everything's combined, and drink it almost like an iced coffee. Throw some ice cubes in there. So I'm gonna place my lid on top now. Not just this blender, but any blender, when you put these dates with liquid here, what tends to happen is that the dates, they just kind of like explode, and then there's like mocha all over your kitchen, cacao all over your kitchen. So this is a trick that I use. Okay, I try to be sustainable in a way that if I get a plastic bag, I reuse it or recycle it. So this is how I reuse my plastic bags. I put it over my Vitamix. All right, that's just, I promise you, when we take the bag off, you'll see there'll be some chocolate splatter. So I just kind of loosely just put it on top like that. But you could use a reusable bag. You could even use a freezer bag if you wanted to, and then rinse it out and keep reusing it just the same way. But for this bag in particular, it has a couple of tears in it. I can't really use it as a bag anymore. So this is how I reuse my bags. I am going to mute myself because this is going to be loud with the dates kind of whirling around in there. So just give me a second and you'll see the final products. Okay. Oh, Carol, do you have your hand up? Sorry. You're muted. Sorry. We can't hear you. Here you are.
I can wait until you're finished.
Oh, okay. Whatever you want to do. Okay, sure.
I have a few questions, so I'll wait.
Sure. Let me finish this. Okay, so I just blended. Oh, somebody muted me by accident. There we go. That's fine. That's all right. I'm almost done. I know I talk a lot. I'm Italian. That's just, I can't help it. Okay, so look at this beautiful faux coffee here. And it's so creamy just by adding those cashews in there. And it smells sweet and it smells cinnamony. I put some ice in my Starbucks cup. And I'm putting in my iced faux coffee right on top here. Oh yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And it is like a dessert because of course you could have it after dinner. But I do like to be on trend in a way. And by having this in the Starbucks cup, again, I feel like I am fitting in. Look at that. Oh yeah. Now nobody will know that this is, I mean, it even looks like coffee if it spills, right? And here it is. All done. Okay. All right, Carol, I'm finished. We'll open it up for questions. Did you want to ask something?
Okay. Number one, I missed how many dates you put into the first dessert you made. So that I just want to ask you how many dates for that one.
I put in six.
Six on the first one.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, it was. I didn't see you put in that many. Okay. And secondly, are all of the recipes you've been doing throughout the past 2 years going to be in your ebook?
Not all of them, but
Is
most of.
is there any way to get your other recipes? There was a few that I missed that I really wanted. Would I be able to request them from you personally? Are you doing that?
At the moment, I'm trying to figure that out. I've been putting a few of them on my blog, even online. But if you need some recipes specifically, or if there's like a theme or like a date you can think of, let me know, and we can work that out. Yeah.
What is your blog? How do you get to your blog?
It is. I'll put it in the chat.
Great.
Where's the chat? Okay, here's the chat. Where do you buy these specialty items? Okay, Gwen, I'll get to you in a second. So my website is www. It's hard to do it on my phone. LCO consulting.co. Okay. But Carol, most of my like tried and true recipes are going to be in the book. But,
Great.
yeah,
And my third question was really the same as Gwen's. Are you going to list the resources that you're using and how we can find them? I didn't get all. I couldn't see the names of very clearly of some of the things that you were using today.
So Terrasol brand.
Terrasol. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that was actually the same brand as the cacao and the dates.
Terrasol.
The milk cashews. Terrasol brand comes from Thrive Market.
Oh, Thrive. I know Thrive. Okay.
Yeah, I like this brand the best. I think they make the everything very, very well. Yeah, very fresh.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I think actually these Cacao Nibs in particular they sell this brand at Whole Foods, but not in the aisle, almost like on the end cap of the raw and the nuts, the bulk section. That's where this comes from. They also sell it at Matter of Health.
Matter of Health, I know that place.
Anuet, this brand in particular. It's actually a lot more expensive than other brands, but I like to invest in it if it's good.
Are there other organic nib brands? Because I remember I once used nibs from I'm trying to think of the name, place in California. I can't remember. But are there other? Do they taste very different from each other?
They really do. Sometimes
wow.
I wonder if they're processed in some way that makes sense. Like maybe when they're cut or ground down, if they're processed in a way which prevents them from actually being in their true raw state, because you can taste it. Like if the cacao nib tastes sweet or good on its own, it shouldn't. It should taste very bitter. It should taste almost like dirt. So that's why I like this brand, because I was like, oh, I popped it through my mouth and I was like, oh, this is not, it's good on top of a smoothie bowl when you have something sweet to kind of balance it out, but by itself, it's not pleasing. Yeah.
Well, thank you. That's very helpful. And thank you for the presentation. It was great. I can't wait to try them all.
Yeah, you got it. You're welcome. Anybody else have any questions or comments, thoughts? Can you offer, I'm sorry, Peter, let me read this. Can you offer a list of resources for the products you mentioned use? That's a very good request. Yes, I can do that. I'm not really too sure where I could do that, Peter. Where should I put that? On Meetup, or should I put it in Ethical Culture Society website? I'm not really too sure where I can put that. But what I'll do is I'll send a message to Eric. I know he's busy today. And I'll see if there's something we can do. Anybody else? I hope that we could do these in person for the next one. I guess the next one's going to be in September. The Facebook maybe. Yeah, okay, that's a good suggestion. I hope we could do this in September. Based on my understanding, it's going to be dependent on the weather at this point in time, but maybe that will change. And I think that'll be a good time for us to get together and start talking about fall recipes. So I'll start to kind of come up with what maybe I have. I have a really good pumpkin pie. It's really good. But I don't know if I'll save that for now or maybe in November, but we'll see. If there aren't any more questions, oh, I have 2 hands raised. Go ahead. You can come off of mute and share or ask.
Okay. Are you going to be putting any of these recipes on, or do we need to wait for the ebook for them
Putting
for
them
today?
on-
Putting them on online or on the chat or?
The only recipe I would have to give out would be the smoothie bowl, because the blueberry pie has already been published. It's really close to Karen Renzi's recipe, and this coffee recipe is going to be in my ebook. So really, the only thing I could put out there would be the smoothie bowl. Maybe I'll just talk to Eric and I'll just put together like a post and put it on the Facebook with that, and then the resources.
Can you add the nice cream to it? Because I heard that was wonderful and I missed it.
Oh, nice cream. That was just bananas and water. Yeah, it was very
That's
simple.
it? That was
Yeah.
it? Oh, okay, I
It was
could handle
bananas
that.
and water. Yeah, we had just so everybody knows, I posted up a meetup for Friday night. We did a raw banana and ice cream party with different types of sauces. I put together some cookie recipes, and it was a really fun time. We will be doing a potluck again in a couple of weeks. It's going to be outdoors. We don't have to worry about that. And maybe we'll do like a potluck and a hike, optional hike again, and that'll be in a few weeks. So I'll put that on meetup as well.
Great, looking forward. Thank you again.
Same, thank you. Thanks for the questions. Anybody else?
Anybody else? Hey, Lauren, thank you. Hey, you definitely rock. Great presentation and groovy cup. Totally cool.
Oh, thank you.
Groovy.
I'm telling you, it makes me feel like I'm drinking Starbucks, okay?
Good stuff. Good stuff. So, all right. Is anybody else? Any questions, comments? Anybody? All right. Thank you, Lauren.
Thank
Great
you,
stuff.
everybody. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.
Yeah,
Take care.
really appreciate it.
To learn more about us, visit our website, ethicalfocus.org, or email us at admin@ethicalfocus.org, and we'll get back to you. To make a donation, go to ethicalfocus.org/donate. Please follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and you can watch many of our past programs on our YouTube channel.